The AKM. Some say it's a weapon for those that have low accuracy, others refer to it as a recoil nightmare. I, on the other hand, think it's not only reliable, but one of the best ARs in the game when it comes to utility all across the board. It's a one-stop shop that allows you to efficiently compete at all ranges of engagement. And with just a little bit of learning, I'm 100% positive this will be one of your go-to weapons as well. In this masterclass, I'm going to go over all the ins and outs of the AKM, how to dominate in range against the likes of the FAMAS and FCAR, along with how to outshoot every weapon from mid to close range, what specializations and gadgets that pair best with this weapon, and lastly, an in-game training routine that is applicable for both Mnk and Controller that will help you tame this beast to unleash its full potential in the arena. But before we get into that, if you found this video somewhat informative, please smash that like button. It has a tremendous impact on the longevity of my channel by allowing me to reach and help more people. Also subscribe for all things to finals, as well as aim training tips. Let's get into it. The AKM does 20 damage per bullet, 30 damage per crit at 600 RPM with a mag size of 36. A total of 720 damage per mag takes 2.35 seconds for both reload as well as tactical reload. Now you guys might be thinking to yourself, the damage and tactical reload for both the FCAR and FAMAS are better than the AKM. Well, yes and no. While damage per bullet may be slightly higher, the damage per mag for both weapons trailed behind the AKM, with the second highest damage per mag being the FAMAS at 648 compared to the AKM 720. So while the FCAR and FAMAS have aspects that are better, those advantages are very slight, and in a real engagement, they're not going to be impactful enough to make a significant difference in performance. I don't know about you, but when I main a weapon, I look for reliability, and I want to be confident that the weapon that I'm using has sufficient amount of bullets to not only handle one engagement, but to consistently handle the next, with very little downtime. Another factor you have to consider are the most utilized specializations for the opposing classes. For light, we have dash being widely used as well as cloak. With weapons such as the FCAR, engaging a competent light player with dash becomes quite troublesome at close range. Being that if the light player has an average to above average skill utilizing dash, they can easily outplay your entire mag, thus ensuring that you have to reload before restarting the engagement. This window of time is fatal for the player more times than not. The same concept can even be applied when going against cloaked players, going in and out of invisibility while in an engagement, waiting for the right time to pop back out and finish off their opponent. This is where the AKM shines the most, because it gives you that margin of error that allows you to outlast the specialization spam of light. What I mean by this is that most light players will run out of specialization charges before you run out of bullets in the mag. This provides the player with prolonged DPS while putting constant pressure on the opponent. When talking about heavy, the AKM is a great way to burn the dome or mesh shield. This will put pressure on the opposing team, as well as add more methods of breaking through the enemy's defense. This is extremely potent if you have even one teammate focus firing with you, allowing your team to dissolve mesh or dome shields in mere seconds. Now that we have an understanding of why it is useful in just about any circumstance, let's get into how to use it while engaging opponents at medium to far ranges. Most think that mastering the recoil pattern is key to have the AKM compete with the likes of the FCAR or FAMAS. And while yes, that is true in its own respect, there's another way that is just as effective and can be used reliably in high pressure situations, giving this weapon a level of consistency that is on par with the pre-nerfed FCAR, allowing you to challenge an opponent at extreme ranges. If you have ever seen my aim training guide 2.0, I'll have it linked up here. In that video, I mentioned that a light grip on a mouse or controller will allow for better recoil control, because it will enable players to make fluid, small, spontaneous micro adjustments, rather than stiff, jagged ones that cause most players to overcorrect, thus losing control of their weapon. To demonstrate this, I'm going to hold my input as tight as possible while trying to control the recoil. As you can see, my bullets are not compact at all. Now when comparing it to a lighter grip on both inputs, the bullet spread is significantly more compact than when holding your input with a death grip. Of course, the term death grip may be subjective, so I'm going to give you guys a rule of thumb to ensure that you do not cross this threshold. Anytime you feel your fingers tensing, I want you to take a deep breath and relax no matter what the situation. This will help build good habits, as well as rewrite the physiological response of tensing up for more accuracy. Please remember this, the calmer you are, the more focus and attention to detail you'll have in a particular activity, thus having a positive impact on your reaction time. This state of calmness can also be known as the flow state. When you're in this state, you're confident, smooth, relaxed, and aware of your surroundings, rather than stiff and full of anxiety. Now we are going to take what we just learned and combine it with model aiming. But for the AKM, I really want you to focus on making sure the top of the iron sight never surpasses the lower chest level. While in mid to far range engagements, I've come to find that this point of the model provides the most consistency and damage at these ranges, allowing you to decimate a light sniper, an FCAR or FAMAS, and especially a heavy that challenges you with either a Lewis gun or M60. Now we are going to move on to close range. This weapon, compared to all its peers, is one of the most forgiving. Like most weapons, you can definitely crouch and hip fire for just a little bit more accuracy and a tighter bullet spread. However, the beauty of the AKM is the margin of error it provides due to its RPM and mag size. This will allow you to sprint strafe while hip firing with minimal penalty to your TTK, allowing you to challenge even an 1887 shotgun user and severely punish them for every shot missed because of the consistent damage output this weapon provides, which also comes with an increase to your survivability because of the increase to your mobility. This will make it quite difficult for your opponent to hit you. I would like to also make a side note here. This is of course optional and up to your own preference. However, my personal recommendation is to have auto sprint turned on when using this weapon, because the penalty to accuracy when hip firing is again not as severe as other auto rifles in the game. This is of course within a 5-meter range. Now when you go beyond that and into the 5 to 15 meter range, I highly suggest that you do not hip fire, but rather center your target, ADS, and fire somewhere between the neck and the lower chest area. This will maximize the amount of body shots hit, as well as give you a high chance of landing crit shots. Now we're going to move on to specializations and gadgets that pair well with the AKM. And I'll be honest with you guys, this is probably the best attribute of this weapon, is its ability to pair seamlessly with just about every meta medium loadout in the game. This is because the AKM weapon archetype can compete at all ranges, and does not need the help of external variables to perform efficiently. So the specialization and gadgets don't have to be revolved around this weapon, but rather team comp, which is without a doubt one of the most important aspects of this game. And the versatility the AKM provides is why it is one of the best weapons stretched across every single game mode, from casual to comp play. Whether you make a loadout geared for solo queuing, a loadout based on being a medic to heal your teammates and provide support, or even make a loadout catered to strictly defend a cash out, the AKM has the ability to pair seamlessly with just about every type of playstyle, while not being a hindrance to your teammates in specific ranges or terrain. So now that we understand the intricacies of the AKM, let's hit the practice range.
3, 2, 1.
So we're going to start this off just like every other training routine in the Masterclass playlist, and that is of course with a centering warm-up. I want you to find a stationary target, ensure that it is maintained in the center of the screen at all times, and move around it, going in and out of ADS with long 1-second strides from side to side. Please try your best to stay in hip fire when you're within a 5-meter range, because I want you to build the habit of not going into ADS when you're this close. Hip firing at this range will drastically increase your survivability when going up against players with weapons that are proficient in CQC. Do this for 2.5 minutes. The second warm-up is geared towards recoil control. And no, I'm not going to have you memorize the entirety of that pattern. Hey guys, Future Haze here. I want to clarify why I'm not an advocate for completely memorizing recoil patterns. The majority of the time, most of your recoil will be smoothed out by dynamic movement, aka recoil smoothing. And if you really must know the recoil pattern, I recommend just learning the first half. Now, back to the guide, but rather allow you to see for yourself the results of what each grip tension provides. First, I want you to grip your input as tight as possible, and try your best to maintain the recoil. If you're on controller, this means gripping the handles on each side as hard as possible. Now I want you to spontaneously control the recoil the best you can using micro corrections. When you're done with that, loosen up your grip to about 40% of what you just had, and as for controller, I want you to not only focus on loosening your grip on each handle, but to also focus on pressing each side of the controller with the palm of your hand to ensure stability, rather than utilizing the tension of your back 3 fingers. This will help relieve the strain of your fingers, allowing for more flexibility, which results in faster reaction times. Now again, unload your entire clip while trying to control the recoil. What you'll come to find is that the recoil is much more manageable and the bullet cluster is a lot more compact than when you were death gripping your input. I want you to maintain this loosened grip and control the recoil the best you can for 2.5 minutes. For the first scenario, we're going to stand here and utilize the light grip that we just warmed up, and try to one clip either the stationary heavy target or the stationary medium target in the back. Now I know this will be difficult for the first few days, but believe me, once you get a feel for it and break the habit of utilizing high tension, this scenario will get easier and easier. I want you to continuously try to one clip the target for 3 minutes. Now for our next scenario, we're going to stand still right here on the same elevation and utilize dynamic tracking to eliminate the back moving target. Please remember to maintain a loosened grip while smoothly tracking the target and ensuring that the top of the iron sight does not go beyond the upper chest. Eliminate the target 10 times before moving on. Now for our next scenario, we are stepping off the ledge to the lower level with our backs against the wall, and adding a layer of movement. We will be eliminating the first moving target 10 times utilizing counter strafing for the first part. This is when you strafe in the opposite direction of the opponent, which indirectly activates recoil smoothing. And when combined with a light grip, it will make recoil control effortless. As for the second, we will be eliminating 10 targets utilizing mirroring. Remember to prioritize centering, smoothness, and a loosened grip over everything else. Now we'll move on to our target acquisition scenario. Being able to land the first few bullets is very important for most weapons, and the AKM is no exception. In this scenario, we're going to get close to the barrier, start by crouching behind cover, stand up, acquire your target, center it, aim down sights, then proceed to eliminate the target. After that, get back behind cover and repeat the process. I want you to eliminate each target in between the first and last moving target. Do this for 3 minutes. The next scenario, we will be target switching, where we will be repeating the same process as the last scenario, but rather than trying to eliminate each target, we will be first acquiring, centering, fire 1 to 2 bullets, get out of ADS, then smoothly transitioning to the next target to repeat the process. Now the trick to this is to always have your next target in mind while you are firing at your current target. This decisiveness will help you quickly and smoothly move from target to target. If you are having trouble, try focusing on model aiming while transitioning to the next target. This will visually give you a bigger destination to transition to, rather than trying to line up a tiny reticle. Do this for 3 minutes. Now onto our final and most underrated type of tracking scenario. I say this because while solo queuing at times, I pair with teammates at a very good aim. However, when it comes to having the high ground, they can't hit a shot for the life of them when they are forced to utilize downward tracking. It is such a simple type of tracking, but has a completely different feel from tracking horizontally, which throws a lot of players off. I want you to eliminate these 3 targets from this position in any order you wish for 3 minutes. By doing a simple scenario like this, you're going to see a huge difference in your ability to beam players while on elevated terrains. Not only on the AKM, but also on any other weapon in this archetype. If you've ever played Cash Out or World Tour, you'll realize that a defending team on the high ground which can consistently hit their shots is damn near impossible to push. So please don't forget to do this scenario, especially for automatic weapons. And that pretty much wraps things up, guys. I apologize for taking so long to put out another video. Work has picked up again, and I gotta make real life money if I want to support my passions. The most I've made from any one of my videos is like 20 bucks, which is not nearly enough for a decent living. But with that being said, if you do want to support me and this channel has helped you out in some way, shape, or form, please smash that like button. It has a massive impact on my channel, allowing me to reach and help more people, and maybe by some miracle allow me to actually do this full time. Don't forget to subscribe for all things The Finals. Also, let me know what masterclass you guys would like to see next, as well as any other type of videos you would be interested in me making. Peace and love, guys. And one more thing. Before I forget, I wanted to mention that regardless of the lack of financial incentive, I am not quitting this game. I truly love it from the bottom of my heart and will only stop when development stops. I know it's not the greatest business plan at the moment, but I made a pact with myself that I will always prioritize following my heart rather than money. And at the moment, this game pretty much fits the bill. So, peace and love, guys, and I look forward to seeing you guys in the arena.